In this Iron Maiden battle report, Andrew's British army will be defending against Wayne's Soviets in the Hasty Attack mission from the Team Yankee rulebook.
I think for this mission, I'm going to want to deploy on that side of the table.
Today I'm bringing my T-72 battalion. It has a T-72 battalion HQ with one T-72, a T-72 tank company with 6 T-72s, another T-72 tank company with 6 T-72s, a BMP-2 motor rifle company with 7 AK-74 teams, 6 RPG teams, 2 PKM LMG teams, and 9 BMP-2s. A Shilka AA platoon with 2 Shilkas, and a Hind assault helicopter company with 4 Mi-24 Hinds.
In my British force, I'm running 2 formations. First formation is the Chieftain Armoured Squadron. Chieftain Armoured Squadron HQ, which has 1 chieftain with steel brew and 1 chieftain without. My first Chieftain Armoured Troop has 3 chieftains with steel brew. My second has 1 with steel brew and 2 chieftains without. I have a swing fire guided weapons troop with 2 swing fires, a mechanized infantry platoon at full strength. In my second formation, I am running a medium recce squadron. I have a medium recce squadron HQ with 2 Spartans. I have a scimitar recce troop with 2 scimitars, a scorpion recce troop with 2 scorpions. I have a striker guided weapon troop with 2 strikers. In my support platoons, I have a tracked rapier section with 4 tracked rapiers. I have an Abbott field battery with 2 Abbotts, a Lynx Halon flight with 2 Lynx helicopters. I placed 1 objective on Wayne's side of the table, and I placed 1 on my side in the woods.
I then placed another 2 objectives on Andrew's side of the table, 1 on each flank.
I deployed my Scorpion Recce troop, and then I used my Spearhead move to expand my deployment area. I then deployed my Spartan HQ. I deployed my mechanized infantry in the woods, supported by the transports. I then deployed 1 of my chieftain platoons on the left flank, covering 1 of Wayne's objectives. And then I deployed the track rapiers. And then I deployed my chieftain HQ, leaving my last chieftain platoon in ambush.
So after Andrew finished deploying, I was able to remove 1 of the objectives. Then I deployed my BMP-2 motor rifle company in the centre behind the factories. 1 T-72 company went on the right flank on the autobahn. And finally, I placed my T-72 HQ tank by the objective on my side of the table. I moved my tanks up at tactical speed up the autobahn. The BMPs moved through the factories, and then my HQ followed behind them. During the shooting step, I fired at the Chieftain HQ, but we missed. The BMPs were a little more lucky, and they managed to knock out an infantry team in the forest.
My chieftains ambushed on the Autobahn. My Spartans dashed up to threaten the objective. My Scorpions moved up to get shots on the BMPs. And I moved the chieftains in the woods up to also get shots on the BMPs. My chieftain failed to hit the BMPs, but my Scorpions scored 2 hits, killing 2 of them and 1 infantry stand.
2 teams bailed out, but 1 died. They saved a PKM machine gun team and an RPG.
On the other side of the table, my 5 chieftains opened up on Wayne's tanks, destroying 1 and bailing out 4.
I had to make a unit morale test, which they passed. My Shilkas arrived from reserve. and I had to remount my tanks. I managed to get 3 of the 4 bailed out tanks back in. I dismounted my infantry from their BMPs and moved them towards the forest, and then moved the BMPs up to engage the British in the forest. The tanks moved up to get closer to the objective. Then I moved my command tank around the factory to get closer to where the tanks were engaging the chieftains. The Shulkers shot at the Spartans. Andrew managed some quite lucky saves, and I only managed to bail one of them. The BMPs shot up the FV432s in the forest and bailed out one. I got some revenge and destroyed a chieftain with my tanks.
I bailed out Spartan, remounted, and then bogged, trying to get into the woods. My Scorpions did a blitz move, then they moved at tactical speed to get shots at the Shulkers. My Chieftains moved to get shots on the BMPs. My Scorpions missed the Shulkers, but my Spartans' commander opened up and managed to bail one. My Chieftains destroyed 2 BMPs. On the other side, my 5 Chieftains destroyed all but one of Wayne's remaining T-72s. Wayne needed to make 2 unit morale tests and passed them both.
I rolled for my reserves and I got 2. I only have 2 things left, which is my helicopters and my second unit of T-72s. I brought the T-72s on the objective on my side of the table to shoot at Andrew's AA, and the helicopters came on the other flank to attack the objective being held by the chieftains. I remounted my bailed out T-72, which is the only one left in that company, and also my 1 Shulker that was bailed out. I moved that remaining T-72 forward to get a side shot at one of the chieftains from the HQ unit. I also moved my command T-72 up to support them. I moved my BMP-2s to split fire between the infantry and the tanks. And my infantry moved into the woods. I fired my Shulkers at the Spartan HQ again. Andrew once again was pretty good with the saves, and I only bailed one. 1 T-72, who couldn't see any other targets, also fired at the Spartans, but missed. 3 of the T-72s fired down the road at the track rapiers and destroyed 2. The last 2 T-72s fired at a chieftain, but missed. On the other flank, my HQ's T-72 missed, and my last T-72 with a flanking shot destroyed one of the HQ tanks.
My commander survived by jumping into the 2IC tank.
The BMPs split their fire among 3 different units. 1 fired his anti-tank missile at a chieftain, destroying it. 2 more BMPs fired into the forest at the British infantry, but had no effect. The last 2 BMPs fired at the side armour of the remaining HQ chieftain and destroyed it.
This time my commander was unable to jump to another tank, so he died.
Finally, my Hinds prepared to fire their anti-tank missiles at the chieftains on the Autobahn. But first, Andrew fired his anti-aircraft missiles from his track rapiers at me, which destroyed 1 Hind. Then the Hinds fired their anti-tank missiles and destroyed 1 chieftain.
It looks like the tables have turned. After a turn of effective shooting by Wayne, Andrew could be in some serious trouble if his reserves don't show up quickly. Can the Brits hang on until help arrives? Find out in part 2.